And so it did. Hi, everybody. Welcome on in. It's a new day. It's a Monday. My first day back to work after my time off. Boo. But it was a good day. It was nice and peaceful. Oh no. Why did I choose to play pink? I'm just gonna want to hear everything. Okay, stop. Anyway, my name is Bear. I am barely watercoloring. And today is random day because, as usual, I didn't really plan anything. Sometimes I plan. Today I didn't. Um, except at the last minute, I just decided randomness because I can do a bunch of little things instead of one giant plan. So that's my game plan, not having one. Um, I think, oh, I wrote down some ideas for things I want to do, but I'll probably just go through them, probably in order of ease to more difficulty, so I can decide when I want to stop. Not just when it gets too difficult, when I'm just like, bluh, I'm done. Though it would be smarter to do the more difficult thing first. And if I do that, it might take up my entire time. So I don't want to do that. So I figured what I might start with is like basic like technique stuff that I don't normally do. So I think what I'm going to do first is gradients. Um, I have been wanting to do this for a minute because I can use them for multiple things, but I think I want to make some gradients. Just truly like full sheets of paper, pick two colors, maybe three, if they make sense, and just do gradients thinly, just transparent, let them dry, put them to the side, use them another day. Use them as a base for something in the future, but I'll have them already in like my back pocket ready to go, right? So someday I'll be like, hey, remember those gradients we did? Let's pick one and do something with it. Well, I figure if I start it now, then I'll already have them, right? So I guess the question is what size paper? Also they'll have to dry and they'll need to lean them while I'm painting on them. So they probably are going to need to be taped down to the pads. So not 5x7. So that's out. I have these to the side for other stuff in a minute. Just random stuff. So I'll come back to those. I think what I can do, this has two sheets left on it. So maybe that's what I'll do. Start with two gradients and I'll just use the two that are left on this pad of, what is it, 9x12? Yeah, 9x12 Strathmore 400 series paper. It's 140 pound. It's my favorite go-to paper that's semi-affordable. So yeah, I think I'll move my palette to the side for the moment, just so I can work. And whip out some tape, and I'll just tape down the top, bottom left and right of this. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit because, again, pink is amazing. Well, Okay, just paint. You go like that. Such a good song. All right. As you can see, I have it at an angle. I've learned I haven't done a tremendous amount of times, but just the one or two times I've done this in this way, doing a gradient at an angle helps a lot. It really helps smooth things over. The method I learned originally was basically to just go across and then back again, and then go just below it and go across and go back again and just work your way down the paper, add your seam or the next color as you want it to transition or gradient, right? I do the same thing, but I'm going to do it at an angle because the suggestion that worked was make sure that first color that you put on is on with a lot of water, like pretty heavy with water. So you leave a bead of it below at the bottom of the brush. And then when you go to do the next layer, start overlapping on the top of that bead and follow through. So the bead of water flows down the page and stops where it's dry. So every time you go across it, you're bringing all the liquid down the page and everything above it is flowing downward. So it blends very evenly and you end up with a really smooth gradient. Interesting, right? Assuming it works as expected. So I guess my first question is, what colors am I going to do? I can probably do two. So I think I may do some like opposing colors to start with. Um, for this, what I might do is start, excuse me, frog in my throat. Let me drink some coffee. That's better. I think maybe I'll start with like a purple color and then work down to green, just something totally different, right? So I've already got some over here, but I'm gonna get a little bit more. I'm gonna grab some of the purple. It's got a name. It's not purple. I have that over here. This is my swatch for this whole palette. The violet is a quinacridone violet reddish. And then the green I'm going to use is probably going to be this Cupid Green Deep because it's a really pretty color. And I think green and purple go together really nicely. Makes me think of the Joker from Batman. And maybe the Riddler too. He's a little green. Not purple though, so full on Joker. But yeah, I think I'll do a little bit of that violet and I'll mix it up here with whatever this on the palette is. Try to get it really wet because I'm going to need a lot of it. All right. Hopefully that's enough of the purple. Try to get some of it off because I don't want to put it all on the paper towel, but I need to switch to make myself a little pool of green. It's a danger of using a big brush like this. Some fell into the well below it. I'll get that up later. Okay, that's hopefully enough fluid to do the deed. Let's go ahead and get it started. All right, I'm gonna wet my brush, grab a little bit more of that violet color, mix it in with what's here, and let's get started. Whoa, paper is like rejecting the paint right on top there. Well, it's just going to be part of the color, isn't it? Let's grab a little more. And go across on top of that other bead. Yeah, it's like rejecting. Sometimes this Strathmore has sections where like the paint does not want to get through until you go over it again. It's really weird. Just put a little more pressure on it. No, see, it's starting to run off. You see that? And it leaves these little sections behind. All right, that one's fine. Let's do it again. Yeah, see, it leaves these huge sections of like dry paper behind. It's really weird. All right, let's get a little more in there. I'm not gonna get in the fight, so what? So my rock star, got my rock moves. Ah, you ass, get on the paper already. Gosh, next time I'll do this on arches or something and really spend the money. I really don't want to do that. Okay. One more. No, we're halfway down. Let's switch to the green. Um, keep forgetting this is a wash I'm trying to do here. Hey, Shasta Diesel, great name, by the way. Welcome in. I stopped buying Strathmore watercolor paper due to its inconsistent sizing. Yeah, it's really a pain too with that. Especially since it's on the spiral roll. Spiral, rolled spiral. My words are stupid. It's on the spiral wire, and the paper is like longer or taller than the measurement that it says it is. So in order to get it into a frame, I have to trim it to size 2. Yeah. I found with it, it's easier just to pull it off the pad when I'm expecting to need it to be a particular size. And then I just use, I have a paper cutter with the measurements on it, and I just measure it and cut it to size that I know will go into a frame. And then I can work on it, and it's not quite so bad. But yeah, it's really funky with leaving the dry spots on there. Wow, even doing that quickly like that, it left lines. Well, maybe we can go over it a second time. For now, though, let's go green. Green. Yeah, what is that? Strathmore, you're doing me wrong, bro. What is that? Why? Okay. No. That's how I feel. What is that? Oh, that bugs the crap out of me. Okay, whatever. It's already there. Just let it do its thing. I didn't want to do multiple passes. I wanted to do like one clean pass at a time, you know? Uh, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, it'll be fine. Oh, I really didn't want to do that. It's gonna be okay. You know why? We're just gonna deal with it. I will work with it and make it do something. Well, I don't know. I've been here just coming in. I'm doing some random stuff today. Uh, my goal was to do a couple small things that I've been wanting to get done or that I came up with at the last minute. I'm just going through right now, and as you can see, trying anyway to do some gradients just to have them made at the ready, and have them dried and to the side. And then in the future, I come back to them and I can do something with it. That didn't quite come out at all. The green's kind of okay, except for these weird ass spots that put on there because it hates me. This did lines, and that's just ass. I don't know why I did that, but it's fine. I'm gonna dry it, and then peel this off, flip it over, do the second page, see if we can do something better. And if it doesn't work still, I'll find some other paper and try it again. And then other than that, I've got some other side things planned that I can try. I just wanted to get some of these done and to the side. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, you can see if I hold it up, the lines become a little more obvious. It could be just somehow that it dried faster than I was putting it down, I guess. I don't know. Strathmore is really a pain sometimes when it comes to absorbing water. So maybe it dried too quickly. I probably should have done wet on wet, maybe? No, because then the water wouldn't have beat it on the bottom. I was thinking pre-wetting the paper so that it's already got some in it, but no, I don't know. It's fine. Let's dry it off. Nice. A pain. It's fine. Hey, Goddess, welcome in. If you can even hear me over the heat gun. Hey, Goddess. I'm barely streamed just what you need right now. I hope so. We'll see about that. Oh, so far it's not going great, but we'll see. Oh, a little too high. Missing the page prior to starting might help a bit. I shouldn't have to. Yeah, right? It might. Yeah, misting is good. Misting is a good idea instead of just wetting the whole damn thing down. Yeah, we can give it a shot. Yeah, Goddess, we're doing random today. I'm going through and doing a bunch of like, I guess we can call it watercoloring odd jobs. You know, not doing one big thing that takes the whole day, doing a bunch of small stuff so I can shift gears a couple times. I'm starting with doing some like pre-made gradients. Comment. Oh, we have something being delivered. I was probably at the door and he's like tripping about it. Yeah, so I'm making some pre-made gradients, or at least trying to. So I've got them for future use. That way they're already at the ready and I can come back to them later and maybe I'll be inspired to do something with them. but they'll already be made, right? So yeah, let me go ahead and take this off and flip it over and do the other sheet underneath it. I think I put this bottom piece on last. Okay. Oh, this is a good song. I'm also listening to Pink today. Down the weather. Maryland, Maryland, like a turn. Coming out. Go where I tell you to, please. Yeah, you'll be fine. All right. I'm going to go ahead and let the ads run, and then when I come back, I'll go ahead and spray this down a little bit into mist it, and we'll do a yellow to orange gradient. We give it a minute to do its thing. Okay, good. Ads are done. All right, let's blast through this while it's still wet. I changed my mind partway through, and I'm going to do like a sunset kind of deal, where it starts darker up on top and then works its way down to the yellowish color. So I'm going to start with purple, then a tiny bit of red, orange, and then mostly yellow on the bottom. So let's blast through that super quick, like, assuming it decides to play nice. Let's see how it goes this time. That's being a little bit more even. Let's keep it going. I wasn't wet enough to really blend that like it needed to. All right, and let's go right into orange. I did what you're not supposed to do. I will put it back on halfway through. All right. Have I ever mentioned that I'm not a professional? Nope. Well, forgive me. I'm not a professional. So hopefully that shines through here. You can see my haphazard craziness coming across. Sometimes, most of the times, I just kind of go for it. And that's fine. It's part of my charm. Okay. Try to clean that bottom bit. There we go. Should hopefully dry a little smoother on the bottom down there. It's something. That water's already gotten really filthy because I have been heavy with rinsing all these different colors and it's turned a murky color. I'm probably going to go dump that here in just a minute. Let me give this just a moment to settle and then I'll hit it with the dryer. And then I'll dump my rinse water out and get some fresh. And then we either try another one of these on a better quality paper or I back off and move on to one of my other ideas, which I might do. Yeah, the water's getting kind of bleh. It looks like it's ready to crawl right out of the bowl. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead and give this some verticalness. It looks pretty at least. Yeah, let me clean the bottom of that up again. It's some of that water that beads at the bottom is overlapping on the paper a little, and I don't like how that's going to end up looking, I'm sure. I'll let go. The tape was like, I'm coming with you. I know the cable's longer than that. Why is that so difficult to... I have to mess with my cable for this. It's acting like it's short. Yeah. Casta, if you're still out there, the pre-wetting it seemed to help a lot, I think. All right. Almost dry. Couple spots is a little bit damp. Mostly down here where it beat it up a little bit. All right. Let me grab one more sheet of paper towel, that is. I'm just gonna get the top of the tape where it's wet. Yeah. So you better get this party started. I'll save it. I don't know if I'm gonna do another. I might. Not on this paper, clearly. I'll tell you better if this party started. Yeah, probably not. I think I've used that tape up. Yeah, I got ourselves two different colors. This one you can clearly see the lines. I'm sure someday in the future when I come back to it, I will even it out a little bit more. We'll see. And then the one we just did. I'm just gonna leave these on the pad because it's the last two sheets anyway. So let me close this up and shove it to the side for future use. Let me go clean my water really quick, and I'll be right back. I should have found it. Whoa! We had a mishap. It's stuck to the thing. Danger, danger. Spill risk. I'm a spill risk. And that's going everywhere. Right. I'm glad I have a lot of paper towels. The bottom of this bowl is so smooth that it like suctioned to the top of the mat. So when I lifted it off, it brought the mat with it, and then it splatted back down and made me drop the bowl a little bit. Nothing disastrous, just a little bit of a mess. All is well. Oh, but I was leaning over and it hurts my back. Okay, we're good. Carrying on. Well, that was fun. Man, I'm in full klutz mode today. I don't know what's going on. I better watch out. Okay, anyway. Is it playing the same song again? It sure is. All right. I love pink. Let's pick something else. All right. Uh, want to talk about. Go crazy. I'm getting hazy. All right. I think I move on to something new because somehow I think the gradient has thrown me off. Oh. So what else is on my list? Oh, well, let me look. I have it to the side here. I did that. Oh, this is what I wanted to do that I've never done. Scoot this over and give ourselves something to work with. Move this back over here to get out of the way. I don't think I'm actually going to need these anymore today. So, and if I do, I'll just grab some more tape. So proud of marking like that, losing touch. You're not you, just feeling I should be. I'm stuck. Let's use these. So I'm going to do some glazing because I actually haven't really done that right. The idea is, ow, I'm telling you, I'm a klutz. I'm running into everything today. What hell? Anyway, I'm going to make myself a big pool of a color, maybe the green or something else. I don't know what yet. But try to keep it kind of thin and transparent. And I'm just going to make a shape. It could be a blobby shape. It could be a square, a rectangle. I may not even use this brush. I may switch to something round. But the idea is to do kind of uniform, not uniform, well, uniform in consistency, but not necessarily shape, layer of a color, and then sit back and let it dry, maybe with the cheat gun. And then go back with the exact same color, same consistency, and do a different type of shape overlapping over the top of it. So what is on fresh paper is the same consistency as what the first on one was, and then the rest of it is layered on top, and it kind of intensifies where it overlaps. And then we let that dry, and then we rinse and repeat. So there's going to be some sections that are partially shaded with a couple different overlaps, some that'll be just one, some that'll be 10, however many I do, but it's all going to be the same color. So I guess my question to myself is, what color do I want to do it with? We want to do something we can see. I do have a lot of green going here, but it's kind of a murky green, but sometimes that's nice. Let me add a little water to it and then just mix this whole pan up because I need a lot over time and I don't want it to change consistency as I work. Excuse me, maybe we'll just mix some together. That is a kind of a nice color. We add some of the green gold here. And yeah, green gold makes such a pretty color. Okay. Right, let me grab a good bit more water because I know I'm going to need it. I'm going to add more color to it. Hang on. Okay. And a little bit more of the green gold. And let's just get this all nicely even and mixed up together. Is that what is in there? Is there hair? Oh, there's absolutely hair in there. That's cool. I don't mind. He's still there? Nope. Yes, right there. The dog hair, I think. Telling you, it gets everywhere. All right. Everything's gonna be all right. Rockabye. All right. All right. We're gonna go with this green right here. I don't think I've got a scratch paper. I can just look here. Yeah, that's good. All right. Let's make sure we're nice and mixed. And yeah, I think we're good. And I am just going to do a shape. Maybe it is a pretty green. Okay. And maybe we just stop there with that one. So let me rinse. Dry it off a little bit. And let's dry this puppy. Yeah. All right. Not bad. Let's go ahead and pick ourselves a different orientation for it and load up our brush. And let's go this way. Yeah. Very nice. Let me make sure the paper is not totally curving and making it gather in a particular spot because this is kind of cheaper paper. All right. Let's get this dried before it goes too stupid on me. Not where it is with you. Intention. I won't be the dreading. Not trying to relieve. Not pain, just not pain in you.
use my phone, I don't know myself. I don't know myself. I took a mountain when I don't know myself.
Nobody else but me. Fingers gone. Don't want you to get it on with nobody else but me. Nobody else but me.
Run.
Hey, Jay, welcome in. Um, Painting in particular, very specifically random nothingness, or with a little bit of everything mixed in. I am just doing a bunch of small, like side things, just to get a bunch of little things done. I started out by trying, being the keyword, to make a couple of gradients. This one did not come out quite so great. This one came out a bit better. But I just want to have some gradients already made to have in the background to use for the future. Should I decide to get some stroke of inspiration or something where I see it and I'm like, I know what I'm going to do with that random ass gradient I made, just to have some at the ready, right? Uh, in addition, yeah, gradients are hell. They're really difficult sometimes if you don't know what you're doing. This guy. Um, in addition to that, right now I'm experimenting with glazing. I'm trying to go through and do the exact same color intensity, again, trying, and doing shapes and then letting it dry or making it dry and then like turning and doing another layer and then another layer and then another layer and just doing it a bunch of times. And I'm hoping by the end, there might be a larger, darker section in the middle where it glazed or overlapped on itself and then some other different there's a word for this and my brain has gone stupid. Values. Ha, that's the word. Values. Different values of the same color. So you can see it when it's lighter, when it's mid-tone, when it's really dark. And now you're caught up. Sacred geometry. I wish. It's Bear's haphazard geometry. We can do sacred geometry sometime. I did have a goal to get a Spirograph at some point to do something with that. Maybe paint something simple and do like Spirograph inked stuff on top of it. Excellent. You're doing the same thing last week. Excellent. Yeah, it is a good exercise. It's simple and it, when done well, looks good. Looks like ads are going to be starting soon. I'll still be here poking around if you got to sit through ads. I'll be here on the flip side of that.
It's like a turning and stuck at this person to and it's left line. I try to and in spring and attacking to me. It means to and attack time and and and
That's for certain. The worst of messes become successes. DuckTales. Woo. Every day they're out there making DuckTales. Woo. They're so daring. You. Woo.
It's living with me, sleeping with me, in the tube, moving me. Stop tongue in the ring, and spend time, lifetime, life, and doctor, and in you must learn to live, and think me in the wind. And you can live with me.
All right. Don't have much of this left. So I think this might be the last pass. Let's see.
And
In the process, I'm kind of cleaning up my palette. The green one, anyway. And touch now. Shot down. Excuse me.
please,
Well, if this did nothing at all, it made a really pretty green. It's a little overblown by the light. Turn this one away a little bit. All right. Probably would never be able to recreate this exactly. It's mostly green. I think it was mostly this. My brain has gone so dumb. Cupric something? Yeah, Cupric Green Deep, which is this one. And the underneath it is Green Gold. Both by Memory Blue. But mostly it was the hodgepodge mess that was in here that was a mixture of greens already. So, yeah. Since I'm already here, I may as well clean it up a little bit. All right. What's next? Well, God, that's not clean at all. Get clean. Sorry, I'm sorry. smacked my table, and Comments like, what was that? And I'm burning through the paper towels today. All right, scoot this guy to the side. Next, I'm stealing an idea, a really, really good one. So anyone here has watched Artful Turkey? He's absolutely amazing. He's a Canadian watercolorist, and I think he also does woodworking. One of the things he does on his streams, at some point he ends up doing some like color swatching studies where he'll take a base color of the day and then he'll pick a bunch of other colors from his palette. Usually people ask him to do colors. I don't have a huge selection right now. But I'll use what I've got and we'll color mix so you can see what the original color looks like and then what the combination will look like with it. So I think I'm going to try to do a very simple one because I've never done one of these specifically before like this. So I think I'll do the base color there. I didn't really plan that very well, did I? I guess I have to sacrifice the top one too. So I'll just put the base there. But I'll do, this is what the 50 mix. All right. So I'm going to pick a random base color to start with, and then we can just pick some other stuff to go with it. What is playing right now? Okay. Picking yet something else. Ooh, I know. I'll probably be really quiet because I don't have it up all the way. Base color. Yeah, God, I don't remember the lyrics to this at all. Life. I remember that. I think we can go simple and maybe go with a yellow. Yeah. And you can pick from this. Oh, no, I know. Because some things won't blend with it well, and it'll be interesting to see what it does. How about this primary red magenta? I always like that color. And then I'll just pick a few different things from this to mix it with. So primary red magenta. Festival, the King's Festival. Yes, French. Vile, black of heart. I wish a lot of things. Again, it's not very loud, but this is the soundtrack to Into the Woods, a musical. Very good. All right. So I'll let that dry and then I'll put the name of it there. Honey in the woods. Primary red magenta. I suppose we can just start picking random ones. Well, we can just go obvious and go with the yellow. Yellow vanadium, or how do you pronounce it? Huh. Forgive my handwriting, it's kind of garbage. On her with her with her. It's a cow for a friend. You know, this brush is too big. Light is clear, light is good. I have no fear, no one shed. The woods are just trees, the trees are just wood. I kinda like to ask it, but I have a basket. Right. Suppose I should do this in order, but I didn't. Should put the base color there first. Also being a little bit too heavy with the color because I'm going to have to clear it up and make room for the next test, I realize. Cinderella. Lord. Their stupid laughter always gets me. The witch. I want bread. Okay, don't unplug. I'm done. Okay, next. So yeah. Cupid Green. I'm just going to work my way down and pick at random colors. Cupid Green Light. In the world where greens. Ooh. No. She's mine, and you'll never find her. Next. Ooh, let's do green gold. Yeah. No. And was The green good with the base red, yeah, it does look really nice. It made a nice little like a brownish, like a reddish brown kind of color. It went very well. Gotta said, I found a woodworker the other day here on Twitch. It was an older guy who's been doing woodworking for like 50 years. His work was beautiful. No kidding. I came across a woodworker that was doing like Legend of Zelda stuff. He was doing like the shield and other things like that. But I'm curious if it was his. My words are gone. I'm curious if it were the same guy. Wow. Words are so hard. What's next? Uh, let's do the Ultramarine Deep. That is this one. That was still a little wet, but we'll come back to it in a minute. Oh, hey, Desert. Welcome in. Hello from Northern California for 2 more days. Whoa. I'm guessing for work, right? Well, welcome in. Hopefully you're chilling somewhere not on the road right now. I'm just doing random stuff today. Family this time around. Oh, hello, family. I don't think I heard. Did the Twitch alert go off for this? Let's see. Yeah, there it is. I think I did hear it. I just didn't quite pay attention. Thank you so much for following, Jay. I appreciate that. Welcome into my wackiness. I am not a performer. I'm here purely for fun, so that's why I don't quite have the smooth talker as the smooth talker gene. But I do the best I can. What are we doing next? Let's see what color we got. What? Telling you the I'm really running into things today. I've done a bunch of blue already. Well, I've got 3 spots left. I could probably do. Oh, maybe we can do the purple and really push it. No, we've already got a couple purples. Dragon's Blood for sure. Payne's Gray. And maybe something else. Yeah, let's do Dragon's Blood next. Dragon's Blood, if you've never seen it before, is freaking gorgeous. It's this one right here. Really pretty. Very dragony, very bloody. Oh, I forgot to write it down. Dragon's Blood. Okay. You, my friend, go on this side. Right? Water's getting murky again. Let's grab some of our red. Let's it in there. Ooh. That's a nice little combo. It's just kind of a rose color. I'd probably call that more rose-like. I realize the base isn't particularly strong up there. Do another layer. Okay, just get this drying. Excuse me, gosh. Ow, that one was a little bit wet. Let's do Payne's Gray. Suppose I should write that down. Boop, 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 boop. Deserts. Yes, you said that. Okay. Gotta say those ultramarine deep colors are gorgeous. They are really pretty. These two. I like seeing the mixture, how subdued it is, because it's a blend. Super nice. All right. That one's quite nice too. Okay. I think I'm going to do yellow ochre. Whoops. Okay. Well, it came out pretty nicely, actually. God, I keep smacking that. God, stop doing that. Still a little bit wet in a couple spots, but oh no. Let me zoom back out and then raise it up. Yeah, those came out really nice. Well, now I just want to do more of them. I mean, in the future. That's not bad. I may rearrange how this sits on the paper in a way that makes more sense. But I have a ton of these 5x7s. Payne's Gray. Yeah, ended up making a really nice violet color. It's quite nice. Very cool. Well, I mean, now I just need more. I mean, more paint. I have a pretty decent collection over here. You can see it off in the corner. Um, this is mostly Mameri Blue with a couple Winsor Newton and like one or two others. Like Payne's Gray is from Blick. Yeah. Um, I have more in my Amazon cart that I'd like to get at some point, but it's probably going to be a couple of months before I get some of those because I'd like to save some money first. So those will be coming someday. And when they come, I'll probably clean up and start filling in some of the gaps in my palette here. They're not necessarily going to be in any sort of order like I started with here. But if they can fit between some of these, I might. We'll see. And I may end up needing to, adjust the palette in the future and just put new stuff on the palette, and some things will be off palette, I guess, because I clearly only have so much room. But yeah, it's not bad. I think the next one I want to play with in the future is going to be green gold, and then dragon's blood. And just mix a bunch of other stuff in with those because they've got it's like multi-tonal. Green gold is just like it says. It starts off with like a dark olive green color, and then it shifts kind of gold, which is pretty cool. So those would blend really cool, I think. All right, so that's enough yammering about that. What now? There is one thing I was interested in doing, but I don't know how I'm going to go about doing it. I wanted, I guess I can use this for it. I wanted to do, I don't know, like something outer spacey, but inside of glass. What does that mean? Well, I could get this to go up. There we go. I was thinking of doing like either like maybe a glass jar, which I've never done before, and then put a nebula inside it because I thought like a canned nebula sounded interesting. So maybe, but I don't know how to make a jar. So maybe I should practice that first, and then next time I'll try to combine the ideas because I do enough nebulas. I think I can figure that part out. But figuring out a jar, I mean, without thinking and looking up a reference, like what would that be? Probably some sort of faint gray on white. So a glass would be mostly transparent, a canister shape, but not necessarily. It could be like a vase. I could even be basic bitch and do a rectangle and make it be like an aquarium with space in it, but that's kind of silly. Unless I truly combine the two and had like fishies and starfish and a little castle on the bottom and then a nebula. But I don't know. That's a different day. So how do you make a jar? I don't know. I see so many people that do them, but they look, oh, that's way too wet. They look absolutely stunning because, they've done it a million freaking times. Like, how do you even make a jar just off the top of your head? Like, how do you make one? I mean, I guess if you want the light to be on like the right side, you do the darker stuff as smooth as possible on the left. And then some like thin scratchies on the right to kind of fill the gaps. Maybe like a little diagonal to try to get like the little twisty cap twirl. Maybe that'll go on later with a darker color and a center brush. But then maybe leave a gap and do the same idea. And like maybe go straight down. And maybe do a kind of same deal. Just a thin line on the right side. Oops. Yeah, that's not really quite got the bottom part of the jar down. Maybe like that. Yeah, let that dry. Yeah, I can zoom in. Yep. But if I zoom in, you'll see how much I suck. We'll try. All right, let's go center. Let's see. Maybe we go along the edges and make them a little darker. Well, that's got like nothing on it. I mean, it's jar-like. It's kind of like a clear medicine bottle, but we'll go with it. Well, if I were to really want to screw it up, look, it's a nebula in a jar. Somehow, a little tiny baby nebula.
when was one and word. Something like a prince.
Well, the idea is interesting. Ooh, this song is good. It's like the title song. Yes. I was gonna say, I remember that being on a cat's collar in Men in Black. Totally nailed it. But for a story, like a written story, I really don't know. That's probably where they got the idea from Men in Black. I like this idea. Clearly this is my spur of the moment. Oh, it totally is washed out because the light is like right next to it here. Um, yeah, the idea of this is awesome. It needs to be bigger, it needs to be badder, it needs to be better, right? Um, I think sorry, let me zoom back out. Not zoom out. Well, yeah, I guess I can zoom out now. Turn the sound down. I definitely am going to want to do this again, but better. I think I'm going to need to look up how to make a glass properly or just how to paint glass in general and just practice just the glass portion and then figure out how to get it inside because I'm going to want to do like, I'm just going to wing it here, but you know, you're going to want to put highlights. This is the lighter side. So like if I want it to be like, you know, some shinier bits, you know, I could use acrylic or I can just use the white pen or something and do highlights. Probably fill it up more with the nebula and then I can really color in highlights on the side of it there. But maybe sometimes the light reflects over on this side. So it's like vertical a little. So I don't know. Random stuff. Definitely makes me want to do it better. For sure. It's a really interesting idea having canned nebulas, right? Oh, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. But that's really difficult to do, I think. Well, maybe. I guess it depends. I imagine I can do a little mini nebula and then do the glass surrounding it like that, but then any highlights over it aren't going to come up too well unless I use a pen or acrylic or get gouache and start learning how to use it. Because the watercolor white will be too transparent. Like all of this stuff over here that I've done, it's all acrylic. The watercolor white just does not show up. It just turns transparent and just disappears when it dries. It's good for like out of focus stars and then putting acrylic on top of it. Um, but being able to create lighter colors on top of darker colors is it's not something watercolor is meant to do. You have to like work in negative space, and I can't always wrap my brain around how that works. But practice, right? So yeah, I think one step at a time. I may have like a couple full sheets of like 9 by 12 at some point, and I'm gonna look up tutorials, and I'm just gonna just do glass. Just have a whole day of glass of different shapes and sizes, and try to learn how to make a good glass out of watercolor. Jars, spheres, prisms, like whatever we can come up with, and just start really practicing how glass works, getting all the like specular highlights and the shadows and everything. And then I can come back and revisit this idea, being able to make a glass, and we'll figure out the layers for where the nebula goes into it. I'm sure it's going to be make the outer part of the glass and then put the nebula in the middle and then start encroaching onto the nebula as much as possible. I don't know. I'm sure I'll figure it out when the time comes. But yeah, it's an interesting idea. It's a very faint because I didn't want to go very heavy with detail. I'm sure if I sat here with like a really small round brush or even my script brush, and I've got 2 script brushes, but get in there and really get some finer details on, you know? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with it right now. I'm just kind of playing, but yeah, I would have to see. I don't know how to hold a script brush from 1 million miles away. I just my hands are not steady enough. But yeah, just like to outline and make it just a little bit darker in some areas that need it, you know? What is this girl singing? I don't think she even knows. On the steps of, oops, I don't belong here. All right. Yeah, you know, it'll be something to play with once I know more about what I'm doing. Well, what else did I have? Pretty much at the end of my normal time. I try to do 2 hours ish, more if I'm doing something really interesting and entertaining to myself. Um, let's get all my brushes back where they belong. You go there. Yoink. My pen goes there. Yoink. It's a pencil. Can go back over here. Oh, some of that might be good, like the highlights and bits I want to preserve for the jar. I'll use my masking fluid because then I just paint over it like crazy in certain areas and then just peel that back and it'll stay white. So that's an option. A Chinese white. I actually have liquid watercolors, and one of them is a Chinese white. So that I do use this sometimes. So especially for when I'm working on this will be fun for you, Jay. You might have used it before. Mineral paper. It is one of my favorite side things to do when I'm feeling super abstract and I don't want to do the thinky ones and I just want to just have fun. I'll whip out my liquid watercolor inks and some acrylics, and we'll just play around on mineral paper. If you get a moment, feel free to check out my oh ha. We'll give it a minute. It's this. I don't think I can kill ads while they're running. That's shield mode. No. All right. I think ads have finally stopped. Uh, yeah. All I was showing Jay was what I like to use my liquid watercolor inks for. I have a ton down here. Well, I say a ton. I got like, I don't know, a dozen, a little bit more than a dozen. Varying colors. They were on sale at, oh shit, Michael's. I think, yeah, Michael's, Clarence. They had a ton of different types of liquid watercolor inks, which are amazing on mineral paper. They work great on mineral paper. They spread really well. I don't know if you've ever used mineral paper before. It is kind of plasticky in a way. Yeah, and mineral paper is neat. Mineral paper is it's made from calcium carbonate. It shows there. It says it's good for many different media, which is pretty cool. But the only thing I've really used it for that I'm proud of, and we'll talk about that in a second, is doing doing liquid watercolor on and doing abstract and letting it spread. If you haven't had an opportunity yet, check out my Instagram. It's down below, the link to it. And I've got a bunch on there that you can see, especially if you scroll to some of my older stuff. It plays so cool with the other colors that you put next to it. Sometimes acrylic, sometimes watercolor, and they blend and merge and stay separate from each other and form really interesting designs. Super cool. Maybe I'll do that in a future stream pretty soon as well. Maybe Thursday. Sounds like a good idea. Downside with them for streaming, they take an eternity, and I mean hours to dry because it's very non-absorbent. In different, exact opposite to watercolor paper, even though you can use watercolor on it, it does not absorb quickly. So it can be 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes for it to dry. So I try not to do these at the beginning of a stream because I can't move them. So the second that they're wet and they're there to stay until they dry. So unless I put them in the bottom of like a sheet pan or something that'll catch the liquid, which I don't want to do because one, I don't want to ruin pans, and two, if I lift it and tilt it while it's wet, everything runs in the direction of gravity and it just messes the whole thing up. So I have to kind of do it in place, walk away and say, see you next time. Next time I'll show you what it looks like. And then we'll come back and I'll show them at the beginning of the next stream, how they dried and how they looked. So I will save these for the future. I'll show you what that looks like later on, but it's a lot of fun. We'll do some of those in the future. That said, this is pretty much all I did today. Made a bunch of little side stuff. Nothing too amazing. Just tried to do the gradient on this. It dried before I could get anything done, and I had to keep fighting with it because it was drying in splotches. But you actually suggested very nicely to wet the paper down a little bit first before I did the next one by spraying it, which I did. And then I went over it with a brush to just kind of even it out and then did this gradient. And that one came out pretty well. Then we did the glazing technique, or at least attempted to, but using this lovely green color, and just kind of doing a rectangle, letting it dry, rotating, doing a rectangle, letting it dry, and then just repeating. So that made a really nice, pretty green color. We did our little mix, 50% mix swatch here. This is the mixed section right here of the pure colors on the side right here, mixed with this base color. Came out really nice. And then my random ass experiment doing a nebula in a jar. So we'll clearly come back to this because I love that idea. Maybe you'll put space things in all kinds of containers. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think that's all I'll do for now. I'll clearly come back and do something more fun in the future. Clearly you saw I did these. I want to make more Polaroids. It's been months since I've made any of these. So I found out the measurements online for what Polaroid actual sizes are, interior and exterior dimensions. I cut them all out, traced in pencil the measurement for the interior, and I made nebula Polaroids. So I'd like to do the same idea again, but with other stuff. So I'm planning on making more. I'm gonna have 6 of these made, and they've been chilling to the side here for a while, just as border art. Yeah, that's it. I'm done yammering. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me tonight. I'll be back on Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific, doing random stuff. I don't know what, maybe mineral paper, maybe other stuff, maybe all of the above. And that's it. I'm going to stop yammering again. My name is Bear. I've been barely watercoloring for damn sure. And again, thank you for hanging out with me. Maybe, just maybe, I'll do quick shout outs for some people. And then I'll go. I was like, always forget to do that. All right. 2 peeps that I know for sure stream regularly. Goddess Whispers does absolutely amazing crochet. That's how I first saw her work. She started branching out into doing other things. She has practiced her hand at watercoloring, and her last stream, I'm losing track of days. Was it yesterday? The day before? Yesterday, I think. She was practicing with this really cool technique using turmeric and light. Turmeric alcohol mixture, painting it on paper, letting it dry. It was Sunday. Yeah, I know the days just blur together for me. So yesterday, but it makes these amazing prints when you put them out in the sun and put things on top to block the light. The kind of shadow or after image it leaves behind reminds me of like nuclear blast, where it leaves like outlines of things. It's very much like that, but less radioactive. I hope. Yeah, I look forward to seeing her next stream to see how they came out. I think that's probably gonna be what, Tuesday or Wednesday. Again, days, time, it's all meaningless. It all blurs together for me. When you come online, I see you. So I imagine we'll see them then. I look forward to seeing how those come out. And then Desert Dragon Lover is a watercolorist by trade. Well, not by trade, but by hobby. I really don't know. I'm not entirely sure if Desert went to school for it or not, but we'll find out the next time she's in. But she is the watercolorist in our little group here. She's got the skill behind it. I've just got it by random BS hobby that I started to make myself feel better when I was feeling kind of down. So yeah, she's amazing. Feel free to please check her out. Absolutely amazing work. Both of them. Okay, now I'm done. I'm gonna go. Again, have a good night. I'll see y'all later. Peace out. Bye.